Minutes. Who will rock Flemington in 1998? I've been coming to this Melbourne Cup for 10 years now, and I can't recall one with more anticipation than this one. It's going to be an extraordinary and a race to remember. Presentations are ready. Here's Rob Gaylord.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. The countdown begins, doesn't it? But we must have the presentations for one of the great races of this carnival, the Great Western. Representing the VRC Vice Chairman, Mr. Andrew Ramsden. But to make the presentations here, would you please welcome Mr. Bruce Kemp, the Chief Executive of Southcorp Wines Proprietary Limited.
Distinguished guests, VRC Committee, ladies and gentlemen, Great Western Champagne is delighted to be the sponsor of this 20th running of the Great Western. Whether you're here at the track or watching the race on TV, you'd know the role that Great Western Champagne plays in making celebrations like this the fun they really are. I'd like to congratulate the VRC on the professional presentation of the Cup Carnival, and I'd now like to introduce the winning owner, Peter Deverett.
Mr. Chairman, VRC.
And that trophy will sit nicely on the mantelpiece of the connections of that filly. Visual displays, huge run, and of course the Hong Kong jockey Jen Basil Marcus. Contrast in riding styles, but very effective.
Well, you really did get a good sight of the different styles there, with Basil pushing that horse's head down and our jockeys with their backhanded type whip action. So Basil is a great rider, don't worry. If you're on the hind, he'll give you a run for your money.
All right, as the atmosphere builds here down in the mounting yard and the people are ringing the mounting yard everywhere, let's head down to the betting ring where it's no less frantic, I'd imagine, Tim Gossage.
It certainly is. They've just opened up the market, and of course the favourite is Faithful Son, and there's good money for Aerosmith. I've got one of the connections, Keith Biggs, one of the owners of Doremus. Keith, an exciting day again. He's been going around the Cup for a while.
He's been going around, and I hope he goes around again next year. He's 8-year-old, but he's only had 43 starts, and it's not a lot of racing for an 8-year-old gelding.
He's a big price. I mean, are you confident even though the track's not wet?
No, I'm not overconfident today. If it had rained during the week or the last couple of days, he would have won the Melbourne Cup this year. But he's going well, but I'm just a bit nervous about his joints. I think he's starting to feel the tracks a bit, and I think he'll be battling to get the money today. But he'll run a big race. He'll be finishing on down. He loves Flemington. He loves Flemington. Greg Hall knows the horse, and if we can get across fairly quickly from the barrier, we'll be running a big race, but I don't think he can win.
Good on you, Keith. Thanks for it. Good luck in the race. Keith Biggs, one of the owners of Doremus.
There you go, Tim Gossage talking to Keith Biggs down in the betting ring. We're drawing ever closer, Jen. In one word, who's going to win the Cup?
Oh, it's so difficult, Peter. I don't know if I can do it in one word, but I'll say Jezebel, hey?
Well, I'll go 2 words, Faithful Son. I think the Cup will go to England. Tim, the atmosphere really building up here, and we'll be back to capture it all very shortly.
Indeed, I'll go those 2 words with you too, Pete. Faithful Son, I think so too, even though they're trying to talk us out of it a bit. This huge crowd just having a ball. Absolutely magnificent day at Flemington, and they look absolutely gorgeous. Speaking of gorgeous, fashion's on the field now. Here's Lynn Talbot.
Yes, welcome back to the David Lawrence Fashion on the Field, where I've got to say some of the judges are just as colourful as the outfits we've seen. And with me is Sarah Foster, fashion reporter extraordinaire from FCTV. Have you liked what you've seen so far?
Oh, listen, it's just gorgeous, Lynn. I mean, so far, the girls, when they get it right, they really get it right. It's just been so pretty. I think the key words this year, light, sheer, pretty and feminine, definitely.
And I guess the quality of the entrance is quite extraordinary, both on Derby Day today, and we're going to see more heats on Oaks Day before, of course, the final, and some great prizes.
Who knew that Melbourne, well, in fact, we did know that Melbourne had lots of gorgeous girls, but actually there are a lot of interstate entrants as well, which is exciting. And I think that these girls clearly go to so much trouble. You know, they're really planning, thinking about what their look is, head to toe, to pull it all together. So some really beautiful things. It's been really very hard to sort of, you know, pinpoint one particularly glamorous girl.
So how many judges are there today?
I think there's 8 of us all up today, and of course running all day, and then, you know, there's more on Oaks Day, and on it goes. So this is big. This is a big job, and it's a big sort of thing here, of course, on Cup Day particularly.
And you're enjoying your role on FCTV?
Oh, look, we're having fun, Lynn. I mean, you know what it's like, you know, just the thing about doing something that you love, and I'm so lucky to do the fashion, which is just, you know, to me, you know, the best job going, because I love wandering around talking to girls and about frocks. I mean, what could be easier or more fun?
Well, we're all having a good time down here. Back to you.
Thank you, Lynn. Look at that, everyone. Are you starting to get tensed up? There's our clock, 38 minutes and 22 seconds. That Whitman's Lightship taking that beautiful shot, and there it is, Whitman's Chockies. As we take a break from Flemington, this is the Melbourne Cup. Welcome back, everyone, to the 1998 Foster's Melbourne Cup Carnival from an absolutely packed to the rafters Flemington Racecourse. While I've got just a moment, a reminder for everyone at home, and only in Australia too, by the way, our international viewers, our Melbourne Cup Magi Phantom Race Call competition open to viewers in this country. If you haven't already done so, collect your entry form from a Coles supermarket, select your winning horse from the field of 23 Melbourne Cup winning horses, and later today and each day of the carnival will show you part of that call featuring the winners. There's the number to ring, 1902 555 955. Now just follow the instructions on the telephone. When you ring that number, then you leave your name and 6 digits of your barcode, and you could win a trip for 2 to the USA to watch the Kentucky Derby, as they like to call it, and on Emirates Stakes Day on Saturday, you could be the winner. Let's get some late mail. Here's Timmy Gossage.
Thank you very much, and I've got Robbie Waterhouse with me back on course at Flemington over the last couple of days. First cup since, I'd say about 1983.
Yeah, maybe even a bit before that, but very pleased to be here.
It's an exciting time for you. I mean, you've usually camped up at the hotel watching it on Network 10.
That's exactly right. Network 10 has a marvellous coverage of the Cup.
And but it's better to be here and in the thick of the action. Do you reckon you could take on these bookie boys?
Well, I don't know.
Who do you like in the Cup?
I've backed Tie the Knot. I think it's got a terrific chance. I think it's exactly the sort of horse you want to win a Melbourne Cup.
I suppose it's better being on course, though, isn't it? It's a good feeling about the place. And Kate Gay doesn't have a horse in the race, which is a change.
No, she's unusual. I think it's the first time in 5 years Gay has got a run on the race. But, you know, she won the Metropolitan, so I suppose she can't complain.
Have you had a bet today? And if so, have you had some luck?
I've backed Tie the Knot. It's my first bet.
All right. And it's been well backed as well.
Yeah.
Good on you, Robbie. Thanks very much for your time. Robbie Waterhouse, just one of the many faces down the bookmakers ring. Good to have him back on course.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. One of the 100,000 we suggest, and it'll go very close to that. Mark Aston has jockey Greg Hall in the mounting yard with him.
Yes, thank you very much. We're lucky enough to be joined by Greg Hall, who is riding Doremus in the Melbourne Cup. How are you feeling? A bit nervy or not?
No, I don't think I'm really nervy. Do I sound nervy, Pete? No, okay. No, old age and treachery will beat youth and skill any day.
I don't think you'd get nervous at all, would you?
Not these days, no. Not. I get excited, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, we won't go into that. Now, what about Doremus's chances? He's drawn wide, isn't he?
Yeah, but I mean... you know, that's not a huge, it's not a help, but I mean, it's not a huge problem for a horse like him. Actually, the thing I do like is he's put plenty of water on the track, so I'm very pleased about that.
What about your tactics early? I mean, what will you do?
Oh, he'll go back. He's a horse that goes back anyway, and, you know, I've got a couple of aces up my sleeve and been doing it a long time, so I'm quietly confident that we'll have a good run on the race.
Who's your danger?
I'd have to say the English horse, Faithful Son. He's got a very good record. I think he's well weighted, that horse too. I think he's beat the handicapper.
Good on you, Greg, and good luck in the Melbourne Cup.
Good on you. Thanks, boys.
Thank you.
Well, Doremus won it in 1995, so he knows the trip and he knows how to get there. And of course, last year, what a magnificent finish. He almost grabbed Might and Power right on the line. So you can't write him off. And your mind, of course, goes back to Saintly in 96 and Jeune and Vintage Crop and Sub-Zero. Let's Salop and Kingston Rule, all of the great winners of the great race. 31 minutes and 15 seconds. And here is the all-important jockey's briefing when the law is laid down. And this is you notice the dour faces here because they're told that this is the Melbourne Cup. There is 500 million people watching them from right around the world, not just in Australia. We're going everywhere. The Racing Channel in the States, through Asia, through the Emirates, of course, and in England. And you'll notice they all look very serious as they come out of their briefing and come out to take their mounts for the Melbourne Cup of 1998. There's Lenny Talbot down there too, having a big yarn to somebody. And the tension mounts, the excitement builds. It's really quite extraordinary. And if you're not here, we hope you're getting some of it from us through Network 10 of just what an amazing day this is. Time for the national anthem. Here is Chelsea Gibb and the Australian Youth Choir.
Once a jolly swagman camped by a billabong under the shade of a coolabah tree, and he sang as he watched and waited till his billy boiled. Oh, come a waltzing Matilda with me. Waltzing Matilda, who'll come a waltzing Matilda with me? And he sang as he watched and waited.
If Chelsea was nervous, she certainly didn't show it. Of course, that isn't our national anthem, but there are many who believe it should be. Waltzing Matilda, what a beautiful job with the Australian Youth Choir, Chelsea Kid. Well done. Lynn Talbot is down there amongst the fashionable people.
Oh, I am, and it's spine-tingling to hear that anthem, and that means excitement is just around the corner. Now, I have one of our feature designers today, Vixen, actually. Georgia Chapman, can you tell us all about this beautiful outfit, flowing and fantastic fabrics all combined together?
Oh yes, well, we're very lucky to have Liz wearing an outfit today. Meredith and myself design and handprint all our own fabric. So all our fabrics are 100% silk, original design and hand printed, and we do a lot of soft flowing unstructured garments. Basically a Devore dress over another sheer dress with a jacket, which is great for the climate because basically if you get too hot you can just take that off as well.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for showing that off today. Fine, from one of our very talented designers that's doing well internationally.
Thanks very much, Lynn. Let's, as we take a shot of the jockeys just getting themselves ready for the Melbourne Cup of 1998. They'd be a bit nervous, even though G. Hall thinks he's not. Let's see what they're throwing their money at. Tim Gossage.
No surprises. I've been telling you for the last 4.5 hours that they're coming for Jezebel. It is the new Melbourne Cup favourite. Jezebel is the new Melbourne Cup favourite. Good money for Aerosmith. Nobody wants to know about Faithful Son.
That's very interesting. I was told by a lot of people this morning that he won't like it. It'll be too hot for him and the going will be a bit hard on the Flemington track. Well, we'll see, and it's not long before we find out. About 20 minutes. Sandra Sully, what are you up to in our marquee?
All sorts of mischief as usual, Mr. Webster. I've got two wonderful people to join me now. Christopher Cronus, one of Melbourne's leading fashion designers, and a great friend and an old school pal, Costas Mandylor. Thanks for joining us, the two of you.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you for having us.
Now, Costas is a famous face from Network 10 from the Picket Fences series and is about to launch again with the new series Players, which debuts on the network next year.
Yeah, it's a fun show and hopefully people will like it. That's what's coming up.
Now, you're down here to help your old school friend, Christopher Cronus, launch a brand new fragrance on Thursday called?
Christos.
Okay, we look forward to that. Tell us quickly, what's your cup tip?
Arena. Costa? Arena.
Costas is home for a very brief visit, but you know, his dad's still driving taxis around Melbourne, and we just need to send a message so he can come and pick the guys up.
We can't find a limo. Pop, pick me up at the member stand. Johnny, pick me up at the member stand. Thank you.
Good luck, guys. Thanks for joining us, and best of luck with the fragrance. And of course, we look forward to seeing you in Players next year. Great, glad you could make it down. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you, Sandra. There's the RAF Roulettes. Always great to see them, and don't they do a great job right around Australia. The Melbourne Cup of 1998. I tell you what, if you could bottle this, you'd sell it as a tonic. Come and join us on the other side of this break. We'll take you through all the excitement of the great race for this year.
Good afternoon. Making news.
Remus is after him. Might and Power led a length and a half to Remus. Then Linesman. Might and Power the leader. Remus is coming at him. Remus after Might and Power. Might and Power into Remus. They in it. Oh, it's close. And he's hung on. Might and Power's won at number 3. What an absolute thriller.
But Might and Power has become the 10th horse to win the Caulfield and Melbourne Cup double. What a performance. That is one of the great finishes in Melbourne Cup history.
At last, it's back again. 12 months after the last piece of wondrous theatre, the Foster's Melbourne Cup is upon us once more. For Might and Power, Asia awaits. For Doremus, history is calling. And with it, the honour of a nation in the world's greatest 2 miles. Welcome to Melbourne, Australia, and a cup of controversy and intrigue. The overseas invasion has begun, and the experts are tipping a bon voyage to the Golden Chalice. For the contenders, nerves of steel are needed, as their magic moment is fast approaching. For the victor, equine immortality beckons. Today, the race that stops a nation will be felt around the world, along with all the emotion and pride like you've never seen before.
Mark Cummings has got his 10th Melbourne Cup.
So stand up and cheer, Australia. This is our finest hour. The colour, the excitement and the passion. All live and exclusive on the home of the Melbourne Cup. Network 10.
Away they go. The gates have crashed back and the big one is underway.
Yes, welcome to Flemington in Melbourne, the home of the biggest event on the Australian racing calendar. Right around the world, from Dubai to Tokyo, from New York to London, 500 million people are counting down to our great race. Welcome to all of you for the Foster's Melbourne Cup. And ladies and gentlemen, the wait is nearly over. The days of preparation are done, the battle lines are drawn in the biggest international invasion of our great race. And with just a few minutes left, this huge crowd at Flemington waiting to salute the one who can fly the highest of them all. It is a simple horse race after all, but it's also high drama. And here we see history being made on this glorious first Tuesday in November. Down in the mounting yard, the man who heads our team of experts. Good afternoon to you, Peter Donegan.
Good afternoon, Tim Webster. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're just joining us from Flemington, a big welcome to our nation's greatest race, the 138th running of the Foster's Melbourne Cup. Jenny Chapman is beside me. Jennifer, Mark Twain once said, the cup astounds me, and it astounds me too. The atmosphere each year gets better.
Oh, it's enormous here, Peter. The crowd is huge. I've never seen anything like it here at Flemington, and everyone is in anticipation of this great race of ours.
And that's what they're racing for. $35,000 worth of trophies. The roulettes are here just adding to the excitement and the anticipation. You can almost feel it because I can see the baldy face of Doremus leading 24 horses into the mounting yard for the Foster's Melbourne Cup. 138th running. And speaking of Doremus, there he is, the old marvel. He's drawn gate 24, the last horse to carry number 1 Saddlecloth to victory, rising fast in 1954. 2 8-year-olds have won the Melbourne Cup, the last in 1938. No horse has ever won 3 years apart.
Doremus is just a fabulous horse, and he is really the crowd favourite here today, Peter. He's going to acquit himself extremely well, but he is that 1 year older, so I think he can run a place, but I'm just not sure if he can win.
Number 2 was the early favourite, the 5-year-old Faithful Son, trained by Saeed bin Saror, ridden by Frankie Dettori, having his 4th ride in a Melbourne Cup. And 5-year-olds have won 5 of the past 15 Cups, but Jen, he is the least experienced horse in the field, having his 12th start.
He is, but he's got a great jockey on board, and Frankie Dettori. He's a Group 1 place getter in the Eclipse Stakes at Sandown, which is a very, very good form race in England. And I think if he can stay, he'll definitely put himself in the finish. But that is the big query with Faithful Son.
Number 3, Persian Punch, is to be ridden by Richard Quinn, having his first ride on the Melbourne Cup, trained by David Ellsworth. Comes out of gate number 15. Only 1 6-year-old has won in the 90s. Another imported galloper, Jeune, which also carried 56.5.
Persian Punch is a proven stayer at Group 3 level, particularly over this type of distance. You see him there, he's a very big horse. He stands 17.5 hands, and I'm sure he's going to make his presence felt in this race.
Number 4, Torfan's Melody, trained by Lady Anne Herries. Patrick Payne is having his 5th ride in the Melbourne Cup, carries the most successful Saddlecloth with 11 wins, and is looking to become the 11th horse to complete the famous Caulfield Melbourne Cup double.
Well, it was a very good win in the Caulfield Cup. He led from the 1600 metre mark there. He showed a bit of dash, and I like the way he changed stride in the last 50 metres, and he went to the post very well. He's perfectly prepared. Great jockey on board in Patrick Payne, and he's there with a chance.
Just like Doremus, Jen, number 5, Count Chivas, is starting in the Melbourne Cup for the 4th successive year. He was second to Saintly in 96, last in 97. Rodney Griffiths takes his 3rd ride in the great race.
He's a bit of an old marvel, Count Shivers, but whether or not he's quite up to it now as a 7-year-old, he has had his problems in the past. His runs of late haven't been all that bad, and at Caulfield he did run on towards the end. But I think at very best for Count Shivers this year, a place chance.
The 4-year-old number 6 Gold Guru, trained by Leon McDonald, ridden by Brian York, who's having his 7th ride. He's ridden a place getter, Magnolia Hall, in the Melbourne Cup in 91. 4-year-olds have won 40 Melbourne Cups, just 1 less than 5-year-olds.
Well, all his form this time in, Peter, has really not been up to par, but I think he has been racing like a genuine 3,200 metre horse, and he's a very good Group 1 performer. Now, if he produces his best here today, I think he could put himself in the finish.
Number 7 is Tie the Knot, another 4-year-old, drawn off the track in gate 22, trained by Guy Walter, to be ridden by Shane Dye, already a Melbourne Cup winning jockey, and he's one of 4 in the field. The 12th ride for him.
Yes, and one of the most consistent horses we do have racing here in Australia. Peter, his last couple, he just hasn't had that spark at the end of the race. He ran on Saturday in the McKinnon. It was a nice effort without being a real eye-catcher. I'd say he's there with some chance.
It is certainly the race that stops a nation. Politicians, everyone stopped. They're all looking into the mounting yard, and perhaps some of them are looking at number 8, Yippee-I-Yo, trained by Alan Denham. Jim Cassidy also having his 12th ride in the Melbourne Cup. He's ridden 2 winners, and the last number 8 to win was Sub-Zero in 92.
Yippee-I-Yo did pull extremely hard in the Caulfield Cup. He didn't want to settle there, and a Melbourne Cup run here, if he's going to do the same type of thing by pulling, he really will ruin his chances. Not only that, his form hasn't been quite up to scratch this time in.
Here's another Melbourne Cup place getter, number 9, Markham, trained by young Cliff Brown, to be ridden by Danny Brereton, having his 2nd ride. He finished at the tail on Count Shivers last year. The last number 9 Saddlecloth carried to victory way back 41 years ago when Straight Draw won the Cup.
I don't think Markham's out of it. He's at pretty good odds there. I thought it was a nice little hit out in the McKinnon Stakes on Saturday. He did miss the start by a long way. He was pushed. He was up 3 wide, and I thought that would have really done him quite well for this race here today. And remember, last year he was only beaten half a length by the mighty Might and Power and Doremus.
Another imported galloper is number 10, Darazari, trained by Bruce Wallace. Opie Bosson, the 18-year-old New Zealander, having his first ride in the Melbourne Cup. Darren Gauci should be riding him, but at the moment he's nursing a broken leg. Will for Opie Bosson, Jen, will it be shades of teenager Ray Neville, who won the Cup 1 day shy of his 16th birthday half a century ago?
I think he has a very good chance in this too, Peter. Darazari, you can see him there. He's so relaxed. He's a beautiful type of horse. His run in the Caulfield Cup was good. I thought he was going as well as anything at the end of that race, and I do think that he'll put himself into the race as well.
Another of the Northern Hemisphere Raiders, number 11, Sheer Danzig, trained by Robert Armstrong, comes out of gate 17. Importantly, has a local rider, Damien Oliver, having his 9th ride in the Melbourne Cup. He's already won one with Doremus in 95. 7-year-olds have won 2 of the past 57 Cups.
Well, he acquitted himself very well last start out at York with 61 kilos, so he comes into the Melbourne Cup with 54 here. Damien, well, he knows what it takes to win a Melbourne Cup. He'll give him every possible chance. The only thing with Sheer Danzig, he doesn't possess a turn of foot. He's a real one-pacer.
The Kiwi, number 12, Aerosmith, won from the outside at the barrier. Peter Hurdle trains Greg Childs, the Scobie Breesley jockey, winning medalist. 7th ride in the race, the last horse to win the Turnbull Cup double, Let's Elope, in 1991.
Aerosmith is one of the most consistent stayers we've seen in New Zealand as well as Australia, and his run in the McKinnon should have really topped him off for this. He will give you a great sight for your money, this horse.
Good Luck Singapore, number 13, 3 Crowns, has drawn gate number 1 to be ridden by Simon Price, having his first ride in the Melbourne Cup, and he has blown out. You can see he's $4.30 over his opening quote. He's one of the outsiders I think he's entitled to be.
I think so, Peter, because he did win his last start on a wet track and a heavy track in Singapore, and that was the Singapore Gold Cup. Winner of 2 St Ledgers, but I just doubt if he's quite up to it. 14
Joss Sticks to be ridden by Rodney Quinn, having his first Melbourne Cup ride for trainer Bob Pearce, and the last number 14 to win, the mighty mare Light Fingers, back in 1965.
He meets Doremus 8 kilos better for his 3rd to him in the Metropolitan. Now that's a very good weight advantage there, and this horse is very consistent. I think he's probably not the worst at pretty good odds.
The other Singapore horse, 15 Peak of Perfection, Malcolm Thwaites' 2nd runner, to be ridden by Samee Jumat, comes out of gate number 2, and there might be an omen. Might and Power came out of gate 2 last year.
Well, I don't know, Peter. I'm not really all that keen on number 15 Peak of Perfection here. It's very hard to line up that Malaysian form, but really the rider having his first ride in a Melbourne Cup, it might just be a little bit too much for him.
Number 16, The Hind, trained by Peter Hayes, to be ridden by Hong Kong jockey Basil Marcus, and a big hello to everyone watching us in Hong Kong today. The Adelaide Cup winner is a 3-year-old. The last number 16 to win the Cup, Piping Lane, 1972.
Basil Marcus just rode the previous winner, and he has won here before at Flemington as well. He's a fabulous jockey, Basil, and he will get this horse going towards the end of the race. He'll get back, but he should be coming home strong.
17 Skybow, Larry Cassidy's 8th ride in the Melbourne Cup for trainer Len Smith. The last Moonee Valley place getter to win the Melbourne Cup was Kingston Rule in 1990.
Very consistent type of stayer, Skybow, and Larry Cassidy, who's riding in great form, 52.5 kilos, well weighted, and he's a proven stayer. He's there.
18 Yorkshire, another one of the Northern Hemisphere Raiders, trained by Paul Cole, ridden by Danny Nikolic, having his 2nd ride in the Melbourne Cup. The last number 18 to win, one of the most famous horses in Melbourne Cup history, Peter Pan, 1932.
He's a horse that really does like to get back in his races, Peter, and he takes sometimes a little bit of a while to settle, but once he does, he has got a turn of foot, and he can really run onto towards the end. Whether or not he's good enough, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe a place chance.
19-second coming. Eddie Wilkinson has his first Melbourne Cup ride for Michael Moroney. The last horse to win the Melbourne Cup the year after winning the Derby was a little horse called Farlap, Jen.
Well, second coming showed a return to form on Saturday. It was a much better effort there, but Peter, his lead-up runs weren't all that good. Even though he gets him with 52, I think he'll give a side out near the front, but that's about it.
20, Ancient City, trained by Colin Alderson, ridden by Brett Preble. Good news and bad news here. The last number 20 to win was Gawless in 1897, but he's got the most successful Melbourne Cup barrier.
He's an up-and-coming type of stayer. He's only a 4-year-old from Colin Alderson's stable. He won the Geelong Cup last start. I think maybe next year this might suit him, but at the moment, just not quite good enough.
21, Champagne. Laurie Laxon, one of 3 previous Melbourne Cup winning trainers. Glenn Boss having his 5th ride, and Barrier 18 is the only one never to have won the great race.
An awesome victory there by Champagne on Saturday in the McKinnon Stakes. Now, the big query with her is, will she stay? Well, she just might, and if she does what she did on Saturday, she'll put herself right in the finish here with only 51 kilos.
Jezebel is out to make history, and a lot of people think she can. Number 22, trained by Brian Jenkins, ridden by Chris Muntz. No horse has ever won the Auckland Melbourne Cup double.
And she's been well backed as well.